anything you have in your mind you want to ask right now,
As
you
of
can
now, I
write
mean,
me.
whatever you did tell me, I did try to work on the software and everything is fine. Yeah, I could do
Okay,
that.
okay, thank you. So you are getting the documents from Google and all the things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now the process starts from here and you will face lot of issues today. Okay, we created the vendor, we have created over here. We went to two setups I will tell you today. One is accounts payable parameters setup, and one I will tell you about the product management and information management, product information management setups. Okay, so these two setups are required before you are going for creating a purchase order. Okay, this
Okay.
will be a very basic purchase order where we will be including the purchase invoice, how to do the product receipt and how to do the purchase invoice. Going forward, I will include multiple use cases in it, and those use cases will be helpful for you to understand it much betterly. Okay.
Okay.
There is a okay. So let us go to this particular topic. There is a blog actually. Okay, D365 web groups. If you go over here, yeah. So if you go over here, D365 web groups, you go to the functional training over here. Under the functional training, there is a topic wise written. Okay, so there are few topics. Okay, so this will help you out in terms of when you are going ahead with your interview preparation or anything. Okay, so you can come over here and class wise you can check out all the topics what is covered. However, this will be for your core the FNO side, means starting from the functional side of the finance and operations. Okay, so this will help you out to gather more information to get into the things. Okay, so here if you go, there is a use case also given. Okay, so case study. So in this means you go through it once. Okay, this will help you out. Whatever is in the yellow mark points. Okay, so just go through it and let me know if you are not able to understand anything. Many of the points will not be uh, will not be under under your
SCM.
SCM module. Okay,
Yes.
so but yes, it will help you out. You have to have this knowledge of all this. Okay.
Okay.
So going forward, let's go to the accounts payable parameters. Why accounts payable parameters are required? See what happens in a D365 environment. Just this particular zone. And over here. So in an ERP system, you have few setups that need to be done. One is a master setup. Then the master setups are created. Then after this, we need to check the configuration of that particular module. The configurations are there or not. After the configuration, we will go for the transactions. Okay, so this is the transaction history. So once your transaction history is created, then you will have your reports, you will analyze the data, and you will give it to the audit purpose. This will streamline your whole business process. Okay, and it will be utilized for your all the means this process will actually streamline your whole process. And nowadays all the businesses need some type of software system. Okay, and going forward, if anybody is using the ERP system, then you are good to go. Okay, so right now master data, which master data we have created? We have created two master data. One is vendor, one is item, and using these two, we are doing the setups. After the setups, what we will do? We will do a create a purchase order. Meanwhile, we are going to find out many errors which I have intentionally missed in the setup part configuration. Okay, so first one is a general tab. Okay, this particular accounts parameters you will find in every module. So whenever I will do a master setup, after that I will come to the setups level so that I can assure you that okay, everything is working fine. Going further, when you work as a functional consultant for the particular domain, okay, you also have to check in this way that, okay, master data is there, setup is there, or let me go to the pinpoint now. So accounts payable parameters, under this, there are several tabs. Okay, so these are the tabs. Okay, so firstly, I will start from a very basic one, which is a number sequence. Under the accounts payable module, you are dealing with vendors, you are dealing with one-time supplier, you are dealing with note ID if there is any, exchange rate adjustment, payment voucher, closing voucher, remittance number. So for everything, if you see, whenever you will create a purchase debit note voucher, you will click on it and you will find out one thing over here. There is a number sequence code. So whenever a new vendor is created or a new purchase debit note is created, same particular logic will run at the. Okay, I hope things are clear to you now. You will be able to understand the number sequences part. Coming to the electronic documents, based on the country specific region, you can have your electronic reporting. Electronic reporting is a toolkit provided by Microsoft where they have separately created several reports for our vendors. Okay, whoever is utilizing this particular toolkit, this particular ERP system, they have a electronic reporting already installed in their machines. Okay, someday I will take the class because this needs a LCS access actually. Then this particular vendor invoice can be generated in a electronic reporting. Going further, you have a broker and royalty. If you are utilizing the brokerage unit, means brokerage, if you are using the brokerage module, which is over here, brokers and royalties. So there is a broker contract. What is the broker claims? What is the royalty agreements? Royalty claims. So if you want to utilize that particular feature, you have to enter the differential journal name. Then you have to enter the expense journal name. Okay. So against this particular journal, the entries will be created for you. Will the brokerage brokers and royalties will be manually posted or it will be automatically posted? Then there is a procurement category under the brokerage. Means you can assign a particular category also against a procurement category. Then you can track your broker work or broker financials as well in your system. Okay, we will come on it. Very less utilized feature of D365, but yeah, if it is needed, we can utilize it. Okay, starting day of the week, define it. Monday, which accrual journal royalties are actually calculated in the future purpose. So there is the accrual journal name, which accrual account you want to post your royalties. So you can define your royalty and brokerage accrual account. Then there is the expense account if there is any expense happening on the royalties. So, so for that purpose, you can have your expense integration account. Then there is a procurement category against the royalty also. You will have your procurement. Okay, going further, if you want to use the brokerage one, you can create a broker contract over here. And against the broker contract, there will be contract lines. Okay, so we will see it in a later stage. Okay, how the broker system works. Okay, brokerage module works. So coming to the point of the accounts payable parameters, the second tab will be your settlement part. What is a settlement? As I told you, what happens in D365 FNO? This is the invoice. Then there is a payment. Okay. The stage one is your where you normally do ledger to vendor entry. Means ledger debit, vendor credit. Then at the time of payment, what you do? You do vendor to bank entry, where your vendor will be debited, your bank will be credited. So this type of things will happen. Okay, so these two are two different processes. We need to link each other. One and two, we need to link each other. So this particular part is done in the settlement. Okay, so I will show you the settlement thing also. Okay, so now for the settlement, will there be automatic settlement or will there be system? We will do the manual settlement. Okay, if there is any penny difference, maximum penny difference allowed for against a particular, if you are doing some transaction, and if there is any penny difference coming up due to rounding or anything, then you can use this particular form. And over here, normally it will be one. Okay. So enable electronic payment number. If you want to enable the electronic payment number, then you can assign it over here. Electronic payment number means whenever you are doing a payment using the electronic method of payment, okay, and you want to enable any payment number against it. So system will automatically enable the electronic payment number as well by the system. When I will do the payment of the payment to the vendor, I will show you this case also. Okay, so show due date and allow date. Show due date and allow edit. If you want to change the edit, see, it is asking that, okay, this feature requires additional payment information to be saved for each transaction. If you post a new transaction and open existing transaction, this additional information will be added to the transaction. Do you want to update all existing transaction with that information right now? The process can take some time. What it is asking is, if you enable, I will say, okay, update all the show due date and allow edit date. Means due date is a very you can say informative doc document. Okay, for what is a due date? You purchase something and the due date is within 30 days you have to pay it, like credit card. You are paying something and within 45 days in India you have to pay the bill of your credit card. So if I purchase something today, how much time will I have? I will have 45 days from today, okay, or from the billing date. Okay, so this is the whole purpose of your due date. Means due date cannot be changed or should not be changed, but in some scenario if you want to change it, you can change it by using this particular feature. Then there is the enable settlement. Enable settlement, if you are opening it, you can have your default journal name where you will have your settlement reminder. If there is anything from the settlement missed out, let's say for example, you you have a invoice of 200 USD. Okay, but suddenly what happens due to any reason, the invoice has been paid, the payment is done of 195 USD. Okay, due to any reason. For 5 USD, he is saying that, okay, I will adjust in a future reference. Okay, some future reference payment. Okay, so in that case, you can have your enable settlement. Okay, settlement reminder. In that case, you can utilize this purpose. Okay, now credit rating. If there is any credit limit you want to set up, so how you want to give the credit to your vendor. Means if you have a balance, then you can simply say from this particular vendor 10,000 USD is the credit limit. Means we will not go beyond 10,000 of the purchase from this particular vendor. You will have your balance plus packing slip or balance plus all as well. Means whatever, means balance means direct financial entry. If balance plus packing slip is there, that means anything related to the warehouse also related to the vendor will be taken as a credit limit. I will take as a balance as of now. Now the 110% asked question will be ledger tax, ledger and sales tax under accounts payable parameter, where you will have your posting profile. What is a posting profile? Earlier also at the item level, what I did a setup of item posting, if you remember, for FMG
Yeah,
group. है ना?
yeah.
What we have done, we have assigned against a particular item which main account will hit. Similarly, over here also, if you click on the new button, there is a posting profile. So what I will do, I will enter STD, standard posting profile. Okay, this is a standard or default also you can mark, and then you can save it. Once you save it, you will add it. Okay, and over here it will ask the account code. Which account code you want to do the vendor posting profile. So I will enter if I enter table, system will allow me to enter this particular application, the vendor account. Against a vendor account, I want to enter the entry. Okay, so summary account. This account will be a liability account where you will be accounts payable to either to domestic, either to all or employees. So let's say for example, I am taking at the summary account of domestic. It is a controller. Now what happens? My system suggests कि no, it is only for one vendor, it is okay. But what I want for a particular group. In that case, I will select a group over here, and under the account and group, I will have a domestic and overseas. My vendors will either be domestic or overseas. This particular information I have entered under the vendor group. If you remember,
Yeah.
my vendor is connected to my on my vendor form. I have entered a group. So against a group, let's say for example, for the domestic group, it will go to the domestic account, accounts payable. So this is a domestic account. Over here it will go. Sorry, this is not the tax prepayment. I only need over here the summary account right now. Okay, this is the accounts for total accounts payable. Other accounts we will fill in a later stage when we will do the tax or we will do a prepayment. Okay, so now I will show you one last thing which says key all. Okay, so in all means for all the vendors, the summary account will be this accounts payable. Okay, so accounts payable others. That means I have a three set of rules which I can apply at the posting profile level. Okay, under this posting profile level, it is showing me the under the summary account. This summary account is my accounts payable account. Okay, where all my liability to the vendor will be stored against a single vendor. Here table is there, then group is there, then all is there. Priority will be given first to table, then group, and then all. Okay, normally you will not see table relation over here until and unless there is a specific requirement for it. You will see either the group or the all. Normally, in the 95% of the cases, you will see group only. Because for all, if we do, there will be a issue with your means with or all the vendors. There is the simple setup, that means they are not utilizing the full feature of the system. Okay, so against this, one group you can create for domestic, and for other group there will be overseas group, and under this overseas group I want my payment to go to the accounts payable. Okay, others. But in this case also, as a best practice rule, we will suggest that okay, always pass it to a single entry, because at the further level, system will allow you to enter segregate, okay, based on the groups. Okay, so I will save it for me. Now coming to the part is your uh, accounts payable is done. I will close it. This needs to be required over here under the posting profile. Then coming to the part is promissory notes, where I will not enter anything. Promissory notes means you are creating a promissory note based on which your receipt can be created. So if you are selecting a promissory note, you can have your separate posting profile or the standard posting profile only. Remit promissory note, if against a particular purchase you are remitting something, you are taking some loan or something. Okay, this is the case of your in majorly in the diamond industry, it is utilized the remittance. Okay, so now there is a invoice remit promissory, and invoice remit means against a invoice you are remitting something, you are taking a loan or something against a particular invoice. In that case, you can use your invoice. Primary receipt posting, where your primary receipt posting will go, either it will go to the vendor or it will go to the item. So primary, whether the primary receipt posting is attached to the item or to the vendor, means normally whenever you are posting the item, okay, leave it the item only. Okay, the discount will also be linked with your item only, means the discount will be based on item or vendor. So I will suggest leave it default item. In the meantime, if you need something, then there is other possibilities where you can go ahead with a trade agreement or anything. Okay, now coming to the part of the payment side, when you are doing, this is for the posting. Okay, this is for posting, this is for promissory notes. Then there is a third thing called tax on prepayment in journal. What is prepayment? Prepayment is for a particular, let's say for example, there is a vendor who is asking 50% prepayment, that means advance payment. In that case, how your system should behave for the advance payment? Okay, so tax on the prepayment will be applicable or not. Okay, normally advance will be given without taxation. Posting profile for payment journal, for a for a payment journal with prepayment. Okay, you can have your separate payment journal for prepayment. So what I will do, normally it is the best practice to have a separate posting for a profile for prepay. So prepayment. Okay, over here what I will do, whenever a prepayment is created for any vendor, the liability will go accounts payable to others. Okay, so click on the save. Now select this under the prepay option over here. Then there is a prepayment invoice. So prepayment invoice posting with prepayment vendor invoice. So how you want to, what which posting profile should be used for the, this is different, okay, for payment journal, and this is for the prepayment vendor invoice. So this is required for your prepayment activities. Prepayment application policy, will it be notification or will it be automatic? So we will apply the notification only. Okay, few of the features are, means you need to study from outside as well, because these are not utilized. Whatever I have told you, that only is usable. Okay, coming to the cash flow forecast, this is for cash flow forecasting only, means what type of, for next 7 days, what will be your, how your cash flow is going to be forecasted. For cash flow will be utilized in your cost accounting module. Then there is a terms of payment. If you have a default terms of payment, then you can use over here. If not, leave it as a blank. Okay, so normally company will give some value in it. Terms of payment means it will be a global terms of payment will be applied in case it is not defined on the vendor level. Time of invoicing and the due date, time between invoice due date and payment date, how much time you will get. So I will here also I will select 7 days only. Liquidity accounts for payments. So if you have any liquidity, the liquidity account separate for it is specifically for the cash flow forecast module. Percentage of amount to allocate to cash flow forecast. This will be utilized for your cash flow forecasting under the cost accounting. Okay. So then we have a taxation. 1 minute. There is a tax module. Under the tax module, you will go, there is a tax of time of tax posting. When you want to post a tax. Okay, so tax will be posted at invoice register level. Okay, when you are registering the invoice. Second option is invoice approval journal. Means you will post a separate invoice approval journal for it. But at the time of register only, we want a taxation. Keep tax adjustment for PO invoices. If there is any tax adjustment that can be done, you can mark it as normally it will be no only. Then there is the invoice validation, where we have, this is also a pet question from the interview if you are giving the functional interview. Okay, so I will mark it. Enable invoice matching validation. What is the invoice matching validation? Firstly, let me give you a scenario. You ordered 100 mobile phones of Apple. Okay, so this is Apple iPhone. Now it is coming from US. During the port, it came up, it came to your warehouse. Okay, to the warehouse, there was a port duty, there was several different transactions happened, but there are 5 defective pieces which are not even opening. Okay, so you can't give it to your customer, you can't give it to your vendor. So what you will do in that case? In that case, you will deduct from the invoice, you will give 95. Okay, but if you give 95, where this -5 will be stored? Either you will give it a return order, but in reality, the return order is your invoice was done for 100, but you are doing an invoice, but your receipt was done for 100. you ordered 100 quantity. Your invoice was done for only 95. This is a very real-time scenario happening in every business. Okay, so in that case, you have a two-way matching or three-way matching. Okay, so two-way matching and three-way matching. Two-way matching, see what happens in two-way matching. If I enable the two-way matching, I'm directly going to over here the line. Okay, three-way matching and two-way matching. Okay, or it is not required. So if you click on over here, why I'm will see the third line is showing three-way matching will match the price information on the purchase order to the price information on the invoice. Okay, order and invoice are those two separate documents that I will create now. Okay, going forward. So in both the documents, if system will match the price information is matching on and the quantity also on the selected product receipt to the quantity information on the invoice. In two-way matching, will the match the price information on the purchase order to the price on the invoice. That means the price only will be matched. Okay. But in three-way matching, price plus quantity will be matched. Okay. So normally we will keep it as three-way matching, which means we want a quantity and invoice amount of on the purchase order and the invoice should be same. You understand the difference between what is an invoice and order, purchase order?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now coming to the part is post invoice with discrepancy. If there is any discrepancy, what we need, we want a approval. Automatically update invoice header status. Yes, we want to update the enabling the automatic invoice header may lead to slower performance during vendor invoice data entry. I will click on OK, but yes, I want to update my invoice header status automatic. Now there is a invoice totals match. So you want to match the totals, and if there is any, if greater than the tolerance, this invoice total will be matched with your purchase order, and the tolerance will be if the tolerance display invoice total match icon and invoice tolerance how much is allowed. So let's say for example 1% invoice tolerance is allowed. Okay, you when today when I will create a purchase order, I will post. You can check these particular features while posting several different entries in your system. This will be asked in your interview as well. Okay. Now coming to the point is invoice. So under the invoice tab, if you go to default settlement type for credit, default settlement type for credit notes. So there is a credit note also when you want to give a return to your when you are returning something to your vendor. Okay, in some amount or in some quantity, you will create a credit note inside the system. So default settlement type will be none or open transaction or designated transaction. For the default settlement type, we will take it as a designated transaction. Required document date on vendor. If document date is required or not. If it is not there, take it as an error. Okay, check the invoice number used. If there is a duplicate invoice number coming on the vendor invoice, we will reject it directly. Tax exempt number required. If there is any tax number required, then you can utilize this particular feature. Then in case of credit note as correction, if you want a credit note as a correction, means credit note should be there on the when you are creating a credit, when you are creating a return or credit to the vendor. Secondly, activate invoice payment groups. Activate invoice payment group means you want to activate the group. You see, select this option to let users add invoices to payment groups. Means there is a separate payment group, okay, under which you can add your invoices, okay, based on the common code. I will tell you in a later section. Now update vendor accounting using the invoice date. Normally market has to post to charge account in ledger. We will take it as a yes only. Okay. However, this is not required from client to client basis, but yes, if you are adding it, then it's fine for your understanding at the interview level. Then secondly, under the general tab, I have come up now under the general tab. If for one means if there is only one vendor account, means one time vendor account only, which is not frequently getting used, you can use it, this feature, but don't use it. It is not required in normal cases. Okay. Tax exempt number, because tax exempt number, I am not taking it now. But for domestic and EU states, if you can enter your tax exempt number as well as a mandatory field. So whatever you will define over here, under that structure only, your tax exempt number should come. Tax group is mandatory or not mandatory? Right now, we will not make it mandatory because we are doing a simple purchase order. But in case of real-time environment, we will enable it because tax group is mandatory. Okay, so let's take it as mandatory only, no problem. But we need to assemble the tax model also. Okay, so let's make it no. In the going forward, I will add the tax size. Default filter for vendor transaction. What is a for vendor transaction? What is the default filter? You can use your open, close, or open including. This is for specifically for the vendor transaction because vendor transactions are a huge form. Okay, this is a form where multiple details are there. So what you can do, you can by default make it only the open ones you want to see. You want to see the closed one, but let it be all and let the system, let the user update it. Okay. Post product receipt in ledger. This is at the receipt level. You want to post the entries in your ledger main accounts or not. Vendor approval I have already shown you with one example of the terms of.
Yeah.
Now I will create a simple purchase order. Product information management setups I will tell you in a coming stage. Okay, let us go for lot of theoretical things have happened. Now let's go to the practical. Vendors are created. Let's create a purchase order. Normally, what is the cycle of purchase order? So purchase order starts from no worries. Purchase order starts from your purchase requisition. Okay. So from purchase requisition, either you can create your PO, okay, directly, or you can go ahead with your vendor collaboration also. Means there are multiple vendors with whom you want to go for the PO purpose. So purchase requisition, purchase order. After the purchase order, go for the product receipt and go for the purchase invoice, and after that purchase payment. Okay, purchase invoice, then payment. Okay, so what I will do, I will set up the purchase requisition part in a coming step. Okay, in the later class, but today I will show you from directly creating the purchase order and then creating the purchase product receipt. Okay, so or let me show you the product receipt itself the first time, but it will be little difficult for you to understand. Let's go for the purchase order first. Okay. Let's create a purchase order, a simple purchase order. Okay. This will be utilized in those industries where purchase requisition concept is not there. Okay, or they are not using the feature, or purchase requisition is done in a separate module. Okay. Purchase requisition is nothing but your requirement list. Okay.
Okay.
Now click on the new button. Let's see what system shows. So it will take some time. Let us wait. Select the vendor account, local information center. From here, if there is any contact person from the Apple, so that you can select. I will select it. Go to the view details. You need to add the vendor contacts. So click on the new button. The contact ID is PL01. Okay, contact for you are contacting for Apple. Okay, this is the contact. Then first name will be let's say Adam. Select it. Give it a last name also. Let's say it's your last name prefix. Let's leave it. last name is done. Okay, you can have your, you can create your own also, no problem. So this is just for information purpose, but
Yeah.
on the purchase order, if it is there, then it's good. If not, then also it's fine. System will not stop you from creating the purchase order. But if it is there, it is will be a realistic. Okay. So now go to the general. Under the create purchase order, there is a form called site and warehouse. Site and warehouse are not there. Let's create a site and warehouse. Okay. So you will right click, go to the view details. Else you can search or you will find out in the inventory management module as well. So over here, it is the inventory management module. Under the inventory management module, you will go to the where you will go to the setup part, then inventory, and then inventory breakdown. Not here. Journals are there. Posting dimensions. Yes. Tracking dimension group. No. Supplementary groups where you are site and warehouse, item model group. This is the inventory breakdown where you will find your site and warehouse. Okay, let's create a new site. So site will be, this is for UK. So site will be, let's say in UK, so it will be UK and UK site. Okay, then there is the address tab where you can add your address for the site. So the site name will be you can give UPS1. Okay, give it a postal address. This entity was for US or UK?
It was UK.
Okay, okay. So let us change this one to GPR and here we go. We will add a zip code over here. The zip code will be Bristol. Straight, I'm leaving it for now. So my address is under the site, we will have our warehouses. Okay, we can means for the advanced warehousing, allow users on mobile devices to retrieve to receive at another warehouse. So we will come to the advanced warehousing concept later, but let's add the site. So site is a global level, and under one site there can be n number of warehouses. So I will create two warehouses for you. So click on the new button, add the site over here, UK site, then give it a warehouse one. So W1, it is a warehouse one. Okay. You can have your separate name also under the warehouse. For the warehouse, you can have your separate address as well. So I will add the address within UK. One is in one site is in S1W1. Give it the name as S1-W1 site 1 warehouse 1. Give the postal address. This is in all system. And I will click on one more I will create so that it will be easy to understand with you. So site will be common. UK, you can have different site also. If a company like in India, we have a site Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata and Chennai. These are the four sites. But within sites, there can be a number of states. In Delhi, within Delhi, there is the Lakshmi Nagar, there is the New Delhi, and other states are there, right? So we
Yeah.
can have a number of warehouses within. Okay, so I will keep it W2 warehouse 2. Okay, then you can give the address that warehouse 2 is in GPR. It depends upon the user how they want to store it. So here we will give warehouse 2. Now zip code will be given as London. So this is now done. Click on OK. If this warehouse is also coming under the master planning, then we need to fill these formats as. Okay, for inventory and warehouse management, if there is any advanced warehouse management concept, for that you need to define over. Okay, coming to the warehouse part, so use warehouse management process. This is the boolean which enables the advanced warehousing for our D365. Okay, so we will come on it later, how the pick and pack and all those things works, that we will see. Okay, so now two warehouses are clear covered. So within UK, this purchase order is created for W1 warehouse. Okay, under this, if there is any project related to it, so you can give it a project also. If there is any purchase agreement coming up, so this we can have a purchase agreement also over here. This we will see. This we will see in our project module. This we will see in our uh, purchase agreement under the when I will go for the go ahead with the procurement and sourcing module. Okay. Then there is the administration tab. Under the administration tab, you will have your language. You can have your language in EN US. Why this is utilized? This particular language will be utilized for a reporting purpose. Okay, the language in which your reports will be printed. If there is any requester, you can add your requester over here also. That okay, the requester is, let's say, Charlie Charles. Okay, so this you can add within your D365. Okay, so the requester is there. Now coming to the pool, go to the view details. We will click on the new button. E1, we will see pool of UK. We can have two also. T2 pool of general items. I will make it as pool of electronic, pool of luxury items. So this is just for your separation of purchase. Based on the purchase orders pool, you can have your different layers. So what I will do, luxury items, or I can say general items. Okay. Then there is a buyer group. If you can have your different buyer groups for a particular purchase order as well. For example, buyer group B1 belongs to your buyer group. You can have your different buyer group. Yeah, we can say that okay, this buyer group belongs to London. Okay, another buyer group B2 belongs to India. Third, we can also give it a verification B3 buyer group buyer group belongs to means from whom you are buying, means for vendor also you have a different separate buyer group also. Okay, so let's say this is from US. So we have a separate buyer group. This information you can assign over. Okay, so it now any unplanned, if you want to enable the activate change management, you can mark it as true. What will happen if I enable the activate change management? My workflow will be enabled for it. Okay, I don't want it right now because in that case I need to approve also. Okay, so it is already not allowing me because this needs to be enabled from your procurement and sourcing model. If there is any unplanned purchase order, if there is any unplanned purchases, then you can have a confirming purchase order, which will come out in the next stage when you will confirm the purchase. So these information are needed. There is an intercompany boolean also, which is required for your intercompany purchases. So step one, once you create a purchase order, your details will come like under the lines, you will have your purchase order header, you will have your purchase order line, and for the lines, you will have your line details. So these are the three sections. Okay. So these are the three sections. Other than this, you will have your header section also. Under the header section, you will have your separate different tabs. General tab, setup tab, address tab, delivery tab, price and return, foreign trade, financial. So all these are now coming to the point is we will go ahead with the vendor lines form, filling the vendor lines. Now what I will do, I will edit it. The maximum details will be filled at the first stage only. Okay, it is in the approved status. But if I enable the purchase management, it will be under the draft status. Okay. Then going for the item, so you will select the item. In that case, we will select the mobile charger, which comes under the FMC. So it is asking inventory unit has not been specified. Go to the release product to complete the setup. So what we will do, we will select this particular item, duplicate the tab. We have not set up, I think, the purchase unit price. So this is a warning over here also. I believe you can select it. No, it is not there. In case something is not there, then in that case, you can always right click on it and insert the column. Okay. So it is asking for the inventory unit in which your inventory will be. Okay. So I will go to the product information management module. Over here, product information management module, go to the release products, and under the release products, you will find out your item and update the your inventory. So where is your inventory unit? Inventory unit will be in your inventory management. Yes. So this is your, I will come on it later. Okay, what are the fields needed for this? So it will be pieces. It will come under. I will see. Now all purchase order. Go back. Try to save it. Check it saved or not. Some information is missing. Let's Control X, tab, then paste it again. Control S. If everything works fine, it will not give the error. Okay, if there is any error, it will give me the. So yes, now it has taken. That means system is processing it. First time it will take some time in the new organization. Going forward will not take that much. Now item number is selected. You need to select the item quantity. Let's say for example, I told you I am asking a 100 quantity at a unit price of 250. Now there is no discount I am taking right now. Okay, it is a 25,000. When we will create a second purchase order, I will come on all these steps. Okay, so for now I will save it just for the simple sake of color. Second process from here is when you fill all the details of your vendor, you will go to the purchase tab, you will go for the confirm, but the confirm button is not enabled. Why confirm button is not enabled? Because there is a procurement, means you need to confirm it. Okay, this confirmation you can send it to your vendor that okay, we have created a purchase order in my system. Okay, against this particular confirmation, please send me the receipt. Okay, so this confirmation is because under the header tab, if I go, there is a purchase type is journal. Okay, it is not a journal. Actually, it is a purchase order. Okay, now if I save it, you will see the confirm button will be enabled. Vendor DL01 is not authorized for this particular item. Okay, so this is just a warning. What I will suggest going forward on the item level also, if you go to the purchase, you will have your approved vendor list. Means this item can be purchased from which vendor, from how many vendors. In that case, you can have your approved vendor list also with the effective period. This is required in case someone is asking you that okay, we need to have a vendors also attached with our. In that case only it is required. I will close it. The purchase order is done. I will go to my lines and my confirm button is enabled. If I confirm it, you will see under the journals is actually the history which after the action under the journals you will be able to print or do any stuff. Okay, so confirmation. If you want to enable the have a purchase inquiry also over here, but normally the inquiry will not be printed. In case it is required, then you can have it. Yeah. Okay, so the status is now confirmed. This is confirmed. This is journal. If you click on it, you will see that okay, your journal confirmation is created. You can go ahead, you can print the original copy for confirmation. So it is getting open, just wait for some time. It will take some time for the starting. Then going forward, the reports will be easy to. You can check your charges, you can check your tax, you can check your prepayment also on this particular. So purchase order report. So it is getting open. Let's wait for some time. It will show you all the details of it. So this is just a confirmation. I will stop here. I will suggest you. So please create a purchase order now. Do a confirmation. If you're getting any error, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
Then going further, for tomorrow when we will meet, I will do the receipt of this particular purchase order, and then I will do the invoicing of the purchase order. Then I will do the payment. Okay. The same purchase order, we will do a return order also. Then we will add on in this particular feature. Okay. So this is your confirmation. Obviously, this confirmation is not enough, not sufficient for your any of your vendor. Okay, so you need to add something, you need to design something in this particular report, then you can. So that's all for today. Let's meet tomorrow, and then we will fix. Then we will do the purchase. After the purchase confirmation, actually, we need to go for the receiving of the item. So for that, we will do a receipt list and a product list. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.